Golfers, if you struggle when you're hitting iron shots where you create too much loft at impact, the club head hits the ground before impact, think about what your right arm's doing in the downswing. One of the biggest issues we do see as golfers come into the impact position, think about where your right arm starts to extend. So many golfers who get to the top of the backswing, the right arm starts to straighten too quickly. So the right shoulder and right arm start to straighten too quickly, and then what you see from there, you get to the top of the backswing, we're not letting the right arm release too early before the golf ball. What that's going to do is the right shoulder works down too quickly, your body stops rotating, and then the club head releases before the golf ball. We run out the right arm too quickly, club head hits the ground before impact. What you feel like you're doing is you're trying to allow your right elbow to always lead your right wrist. Trying to offset that, you're always going to allow your right elbow to always lead your right wrist. A great drill that you can use is place your left hand in front of you with the left hand dissects through the middle of your chest. If you release the club too early, your right elbow never gets to your left hand. So if you release the club quite early, your right hand is going to reach your left hand. Allow your right elbow to reach your left hand before your wrist. The bend in your right arm for longer. Right elbow is going to get to the middle of your body before your right wrist. So right elbow, always leading your right wrist. Maintain the bend in your right arm for longer. Always allow your right elbow to lead your right wrist. Keep the bend in that right arm. And as you can see from there, right palm faces ground. That's going to allow us to keep a big extension in the right wrist. Two things, right elbow working ahead of the right hip. So right elbow working ahead of the right hip in the downswing. Keep the bend in the right arm for longer. As we come into impact, right elbow working ahead of the right hip. Keep the bend in the right arm, enable your right palm to face the ground. So maintain the bend in the right arm for a little bit longer. Focus on getting your left hand past the golf ball impact. Maintain the bend in the right arm for longer. Allow your left hand to get past the golf ball impact. That's going to enable you to keep the bend in the right arm for longer and also maintain the extension in the right wrist, which is going to feel like your right palm stays down towards the ground for a little bit longer into the downswing. So think right elbow working ahead of right hip. Allow your left hand to get past the golf ball impact, rehearse your impact position. Hands are ahead, we're turning the loft of the club down. So right elbow working ahead of right hip, left hand past the golf ball, and keep the bend in the right wrist for longer. So the elbow always leads the wrist, and that's going to feel like the ball launches a little bit lower because we're taking a little bit of loft off the golf ball. That's going to enable you to create ball turf contact. It's going to enable you to create ball turf contact. So right elbow working ahead of right hip, and allow your left hand to get past the golf ball impact. Rehearse your impact position, hands are ahead, chest then starts to open towards the target, and that's going to enable you to hit the golf ball first and then move your low point after the golf ball. Left hand ahead of the golf ball, allow your chest to rotate towards the target. That's going to keep the weight moving into your left side, but it's going to enable you to hit the ball first and then move your low point after the golf ball, which everyone wants to achieve. So keep the bend in the right arm for longer, allow your left hand to get past the golf ball. That's going to feel like you keep the bend in the right wrist for longer, enable you to create a little bit more of a de-lofted action coming into impact. Hit the golf ball first and create a small compressed divot after the golf ball. Maintain the bend in the right arm for longer, allow your left hand to get past the golf ball, and then chest to face the target. And through impact, I want it to feel like my left leg feels nice and heavy. The shoulder stays down for a split second longer. Chest then starts to rotate towards the target. Keep your left hip and your left shoulder. Chest and left shoulder down. At the moment impact for a split second longer, then chest is going to start to extend towards the target. Keep your weight into your left side. If your left leg feels heavy, that's when you know you're doing this correctly, and that's going to enable you to hit the ball first and then take a small divot after the golf ball. Keep the bend in the right arm, left shoulder stays down, chest to the target through impact. Golfers, do you struggle with a steep downswing path where we get to the top of the backswing? What happens from here? If you think about the correlation between your hands in the middle of your chest, the chest tends to spin open too quickly, so my chest faces the target too quickly and too abruptly in the downswing. The shaft gets relatively steep, so my left shoulder gets too low in the downswing. My right shoulder works out towards the golf ball too early. Get in a position where my chest starts to spin open. If you're this golfer, your tendency is the right shoulder will get too much internally rotated, so as we get to the top of the backswing, the right palm has a tendency to go down towards the ground too quickly, so the right shoulder works out too early. Right palm goes too much down towards the ground. Shaft gets really steep, right palm goes too much down towards the ground, and we get an impact position that looks like this, so the shaft gets really steep and really vertical. Grip end of the club goes straight down towards the ground. Hit the golf club both thumbs facing each other. Both thumbs facing each other, swing the club to the top of the backswing. Instead of you pulling down on the golf club where the grip end of the club goes straight into the ground, right palm goes too much towards the ground. You get to the top of the backswing, take your right hand off the club, so instead of your right palm facing the ground, you're going to flip your right hand, so the right palm's facing the sky, so flip your right hand. From here you're going to slide it down, so your right hand meets your left hand. Take your right hand off the club, instead of facing the ground it's going to point towards the sky, so you're rotating that forearm more towards the sky. As you swing the club into impact, it's the feeling from here that the hands are working more towards your golf ball to target. So don't pull the hands really close to your body. So use that drill, split hand grip drill, put the club to the top. Slide your right palm so it's facing the sky. Swing to the top, right palm facing the sky. We're rotating our right forearm more in a clockwise direction. So another analogy would be to try and feel like we're twisting the steering wheel more to the right. So take your hands off, I feel like I'm twisting the steering wheel more to the right. The feeling from here is trying to get the back of the left wrist more towards the sky. Right palm is on the shaft of the golf club, so back of the left wrist more towards the sky. Right palm facing the sky. If you struggle with the shaft getting a little bit too steep in the downswing, the 10 says that right shoulder is going to work towards the golf ball a little bit too early. It's going to work high top. I've got maximum width to feel my right arm's a little bit straighter. The feeling from here to change this motion, the thumbs are facing each other. You're going to take your right palm from facing the ground. You're going to twist your right palm so it's facing underneath the golf club. So take, instead of your right palm being on top of the grip, twist your right palm so it faces the sky, so your right hand's underneath the golf grip. You're going to slide your right hand down so it meets your left hand. So you're sliding your right hand down to meet your left hand. As you can see from there, the shaft's a little bit more horizontal. As you start down, you're going to let your right hand join your left hand. So the feeling from here is try and get your right hand to face the sky. So right palm facing the sky, shaft's in a horizontal position. As you rotate into the downswing, from here, grip end of the club is going to feel like it intersects through your golf ball to target line. So swing it up to the top. Don't steepen that golf club where your right elbow goes back. The feeling from here is feel like your hands and the grip end of the club intersect through the golf and working a little bit more out towards the golf ball. You can see from there that's going to allow the club to shallow. If the grip end of the club goes down towards the ground, it gets massively above the position of your hand path. So really just try and feel like the club head gets a little bit lower compared to the position of your hands. How do we achieve that? Right palm facing the ground, rotation of the right shoulder and also the forearm, where the right palm is going to go more towards the sky, the right forearm is going to go towards the sky as well. So rotate your right forearm so it faces the sky, then your right hand's underneath the club. Start the downswing, the grip end of the club, and your hands are working towards your golf ball to target. Through the golf ball to target line, the club head's going to get a little bit lower compared to the hands. Struggle with that feeling of the hands working out towards the golf ball. The feeling to create from here is try and get your right shoulder to work down a little bit more in transition. So right shoulder working down, right shoulder's working down. That's going to keep my shoulders a little bit more close towards my intended target, and it's going to keep my back to the target for longer, which is going to allow the club to shallow, and it's also going to create this more of an inside path, wider downswing, and just give you a little bit more time and space to hit the golf ball. With a clock face, instead of rotating your forearm too much in anti-clockwise direction, where your right hand gets too far ahead of your right shoulder, your right elbow gets too far behind the wrist, we want to reverse that set, get to the top. Feeling from here is right forearm and right palm to the sky. To achieve that, your elbow has to move more towards the golf ball. So your right elbow has to feel like it moves more towards the golf ball. We're rotating our right forearm more of in a clockwise direction. As you can see from there, that's going to help flatten out that golf club. It's going to get the club head a little bit lower compared to the hands. The hands really narrow. To get to the top of the backswing from here, right palm faces the sky. You're going to join your right hand to your left hand. Automatic feeling from here is let your right elbow work in front of your right hip, and your right shoulder is going to work down a little bit earlier in transition, with your back to the target for a little bit longer in the downswing. Comment below if you've got any thoughts and questions regarding the video. Simple drill to help shallow the golf club. Use the split hand grip drill, swing it up to the top. Right palm instead of facing the ground, you're going to twist your right forearm so it's more towards the sky. Slide your right forearm, still maintaining your right palm towards the sky. Slide it down to your left hand, the grip end, the club and your hands are working directly in a straight line towards the golf ball. That's going to get the club head lower than the position of your hands, and that's going to allow the right shoulder to work down a little bit more in transition, and it's also going to allow you to keep your back to the target a little bit longer in the downswing and help shallow that golf club by creating a little bit more external rotation in that right shoulder. So remember, you've got a bottle of water in your right hand, you've got a wall behind you, you're spraying the water on the wall behind your right shoulder. How does that look? My right forearm and palm have to face more towards the sky, and that's going to help you shallow golf and play a bit more space. Please like and subscribe to the channel, that would be brilliant. If you've got any thoughts, comment, share that video, comment below.